One thing I've realized over the past few years about women who are trying to get pregnant is that most women don't know the exact time to have sex in order to get pregnant. Because believe me, there is a particular period that your body has allocated for you to naturally get pregnant in case you have unprotected sex. So that is why in this video, we're going to be answering the question of when is the best time to have sex in order to get pregnant, and how often should you have the sex in order to get pregnant. So in case you are seeing me for the first time, my name is David. I'm a registered nurse with specialty in perioperative nursing, currently practicing in one of the biggest university center here in Nigeria. So let's get started. For you to know the best time to have sex in order to get pregnant, you need to know when you are ovulating. Ovulation is the time your body releases an egg from your ovaries, making it available for fertilization by sperm. So, and don't forget, this egg can only survive in your body for 12 to 24 hours in the whole of a 30 days calendar month. So that means for you to get pregnant, you need to know the time your body is releasing these eggs so that you can target those periods and have unprotected sexual intercourse. Then you can get pregnant. So how do you now know when your body is releasing an egg from your ovary? So which is also known as ovulation. How do you know when you are ovulating? So there are numerous ways by which you can know when you are ovulating. So but for the purpose of this video and for the purpose of simplicity, we'll be using the calendar method so that you can easily understand. So I will advise you to bring out a calendar so that you can also follow through as I explain. So how do you know when you are ovulating using the calendar method? First of all, you need to know your menstrual cycle length. Your menstrual cycle length is not the number of days that you see blood. Don't misquote me. Your menstrual cycle length is the number of days from your first day of your period to the last day before your next period. I have a calendar with me. I will show you. So, but I just want you to get the concept of your menstrual cycle length, because most women don't know the difference between their menstrual days and their menstrual cycle length. So your menstrual cycle length is the number of days from the first day of your period to the last day before your next period. So let's assume this is a September calendar. So let's assume you don't know your menstrual cycle length and you want to find out what is your menstrual cycle length. So let's assume the first day you saw your period this month was on 2nd of September, right? 2nd of September will be your day 1. So on your calendar, mark 2nd of September, which is your day 1. So let's say you saw your period for 3 days, which means you saw your period 2nd of September, then 3rd of September, which is your day 2, 4th of September, which is your day 3, right? That means you menstruated for 3 days. That is not your menstrual cycle length. That is your menstrual days, right? Then you finished your period. So let's say the next time you now see your period again is on 29th of September. Let's say the next time you see your period again is 29th of September. So that will be day 1 of another cycle. Hope you are getting me. So how you now know your menstrual cycle length is by counting from the first day of your previous menstrual cycle to the last day before your next menstrual cycle. So you start counting from 2nd of September, which is your day 1, till 28th of September, which is the day before your next period. So let's count. 2nd of September will be your day 1. 3rd of September will be your day 2. 4th of September will be your day 3. 5th of September will be your day 4. Day 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, right? So that means this person is having a 27-day cycle length. Don't forget, I told you your menstrual cycle length is the number of days from your first period to the day before your next period. So that is your menstrual cycle length. However, for the fact that we illustrated with 27-day cycle length doesn't mean that your own cycle length must also be 27 days. Your own might be 28 days or 25 days or 23 days or 30 days. So but just note this, the normal menstrual cycle length is between 21 days to 35 days. That is the normal menstrual cycle length. Your menstrual cycle length should not be less than 21 days or greater than 35 days. So anything that is not within this range is abnormal. And in this case, I will advise that you see your doctor. All right, let's go back to what we are explaining. Don't forget, we want to know when we are ovulating. And I said the first step into knowing that is to know your menstrual cycle length. So now we've established that our menstrual cycle length is 27 days, for instance. So how you will now calculate your ovulation period is to deduct 14 days from your menstrual cycle length, because Ovulation is expected to occur 14 days before your next period. Don't forget, it is not 14 days after your period, but 14 days before your next period. So in this case, our menstrual cycle length is 27 days. So you deduct 14 days from 27. That will give us 13, right? You now go to your calendar. You go and look at day 13 of your cycle. Day 13. Don't forget, not day 13 of the calendar, but day 13 of your cycle. So you go back to your calendar. So let's look for day 13 on this September calendar. So this is day 13. Day 13 will fall on the 14th of September. So don't mix it up. So you are expected to ovulate around day 13. That is when you are expected to ovulate using the calendar method. So, but however, this is not always 100% accurate in the sense that it is possible that you ovulate 2 days before this day 13 or 2 days after day 13. So because ovulation is not a fixed thing. So it is possible that you ovulate 2 days before day 13 or 2 days after your expected ovulation day. So here we got 13, right? So you had 2 days before day 13 and 2 days after day 13. So let's do that. So that means we are going to be adding day 12, then day 11, making 2 days before day 13. Then 2 days after day 13 will give us day 14 and day 15. So we now have 5 days to be our expected ovulation day. So we have day 11, day 12, day 13, day 14 and 15. So believe me, all these 5 days are said to be your most fertile day. So these are the period in which if you have unprotected sexual intercourse, you are most likely to get pregnant. All right. So, but it is possible that you have unprotected sex before this period and still get pregnant because your partner's sperm can survive in your body for up to 3 to 5 days. So that means if you have unprotected sexual intercourse today, your partner's sperm can remain in your body intact and fully functioning for 3 to 5 days. So that means if you have unprotected sex on the day 10 of your cycle, and we've established that day 11 is one of the days in which you are most fertile, the sperm can still be active in your body to fertilize the egg that is going to be released either on day 11 or day 12, right? So what you now simply do is to add 5 days to your earliest expected ovulation day, your earliest fertile day. In this case, your earliest fertile day is on day 11, right? So you had 5 days before day 11, which is your earliest fertile day, starting from that day 11. So day 11 will be 1, then that means you're adding day 10, which is the second day, day 9, which is the third day, day 8, which is the fourth day, and day 7, which is the fifth day. So we're adding 5 days before your earliest expected ovulation day because we believe that if you have unprotected sexual intercourse prior to your most fertile day, it's possible that the sperm still remains intact in your body in order to fertilize the egg. So that is the reason why we are adding 5 days before your earliest expected ovulation day. So all these days are regarded to as your fertile window. So they are the days in which if you have unprotected sexual intercourse, you are most likely to get pregnant. So if you've been able to calculate these days, that will bring us to the question of when is the best time to have sexual intercourse in order to get pregnant. So the best time to have sex to get pregnant is on any of the 5 days we've highlighted earlier on to be your most fertile day, which are day 11, day 12, day 13, day 14, and day 15. You see, all these 5 days, they are the days in which if you have unprotected sexual intercourse in any of these days, then you are most likely to get pregnant. And don't forget how we came about getting these days. You know, we said for you to know when you are ovulating, you need to know your menstrual cycle length. And in this case, we've established that this person's menstrual cycle length is 27 days, right? So, and after that, you deduct 14 from 27 because you are expected to ovulate 14 days before your next period. That gave us 13 days. So we went back to our calendar to look for day 13 of our cycle. But because ovulation is not a fixed thing, so we decided to add 2 days before day 13 and 2 days after day 13. So that gives us day 11, day 12, day 13, day 14, and day 15. So making 5 days. So all these 5 days are regarded to be your most fertile day. So these are the days in which if you have unprotected sex, you are most likely to get pregnant. So that brings us to the question of how often should you have sex in order to get pregnant? So going back to our calendar, we've established that this person has 27-day cycle. So and our fertile window started from day 7 of our period, ended on day 15. So concerning the frequency of sexual intercourse, you can have it every day so far it is still within your fertile window. So but I will advise that you alternate it. For instance, if you have it on day 7, you can skip day 8, come back to day 9, skip 10, come back to 11, skip 12, come back to day 13, skip 14, come back to day 15. So you can alternate it so far you are comfortable with it. And if you are comfortable with having it every day, then you can go ahead. The hallmark is to get pregnant, right? So you can also follow the same procedure in case you have a different menstrual cycle length. For instance, if you have a menstrual cycle length of 28 days, all you have to do is to deduct 14 from it, which will give you 14, add +2 or -2, go to your calendar, look for day 14 of your cycle, add 2 days before, add 2 days after. So that will give you your most fertile day in which if you have unprotected sex, you are going to get pregnant. So, but because sperm can stay in your body for 3 to 5 days, you want to add 5 days before your earliest expected ovulation day. So you can follow suit the same procedure if you have a different cycle length. So if you have 29 days, you can also follow the same procedure. If you have 30, if you have 21, if you have 25, you can follow the same procedure. So I pray that it works for you. So and if you find this video helpful, do me a favor of liking this video, subscribe if you want more of videos like this. So and I will be in the comment section to answer any of your questions. So until then, I say see you next time.